Good evening. Welcome to QUT Web News.
Good evening.
The first real sittings of Queensland Parliament since Labor won power in January got underway today. And there was attack and counter-attack by both major parties. But the former Labor MP and now controversial independent Billy Gordon stole much of the limelight, hitting out at what he called an unethical media.
All eyes were on controversial independent MP Billy Gordon as Parliament began. The member for Cook wanted to clear up allegations that he had failed to pay child maintenance. He claimed a child support officer led him to believe that his payments were up to date.
On the 24th of March, I paid the amount that I understood from the 20th of March phone conversation that was outstanding.
Mr. Gordon lashed out at what he called the ugly force of the media over allegations, claiming he hadn't deliberately misled the Parliament. But opposition leader Lawrence Springborg wasn't impressed.
There were certainly many unanswered questions for the Premier and the member for Cook with regards to certain concerning allegations that had been raised at that time.
The Premier, on the other hand, repeated her attacks on the opposition for releasing documents that identified Mr. Gordon's children.
Circulating private confidential documents involving the member for Cook's children. That's your record. That's your record. It is absolutely disgraceful and it is absolutely despicable.
The Billy Gordon scandal wasn't the only hot topic today. Labor's focus on jobs creation was a point of contention, and both parties were adamant they'd done the most to lower hospital wait times. New Speaker Peter Wellington was keen to stamp his authority during outbursts from both sides.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Oh, Mr.
Order.
Speaker.
Order, members.
Parliament will sit again tomorrow. Chris Thompson, QUT News.
The state government's launched an inquiry into whether the Moreton Bay Rail Link worsened last Friday's flooding north of Brisbane. And more homeowners will now be eligible for hardship payments as the massive clean-up continues.
Lord Mayor Graham Quirk donned a high-vis and helped repair potholes in Kedron, caused by last week's severe storm.
We have, since Friday night, now filled around 1,200 potholes in this city.
In Brisbane, the suburb of Deagon was one of the worst affected. The clean-up bill is huge.
But it will run into the millions.
In Moreton Bay Shire, some families lost everything. Concerns the Moreton Bay Rail Link development made flooding worse will be examined.
I can announce that there will be an independent review into flooding concerns raised by residents in the Moreton Bay region.
The state government is continuing to provide assistance for those hardest hit by the storm. It's tripled the number of streets eligible for hardship payments. They include Burpengary, Deception Bay and Rothwell.
We will be with them every step of the way and that we will walk the journey with them.
The cleanup will take some time. Authorities are asking residents to report any road damage that needs to be repaired. Rebecca McDonough, QUT News.
Wealthier pensioners are in the federal government's sights. A tougher assets test is under consideration. It could see 200,000 people cut off from even a part pension.
Wealthy retirees may soon be facing stricter assets testing. The changes mean couples will lose the part pension when their assets reach about $820,000, not including the family home. Single pensioners will lose access at about $550,000.
Pension is not a reward, it is a safety net for people in their retirement to ensure that they have a basic support for their living costs.
Under the current system, couples with assets of up to $1.15 million still qualify for the part pension. The annual pension bill is now sitting at $42 billion a year. The new assets testing would save more than $1 billion a year, but the opposition's not buying it.
In the last budget, they cut the pensions of over 2 million aged pensioners, and they're at it again.
The federal government's second budget will be brought down next Tuesday. Carla Howarth, QUT News.
The world's leading asthma specialists gathered in Brisbane to examine new ways to manage the condition. While Australia has one of the highest asthma death rates in the world, patients often don't recognise the seriousness of their disease.
1 in 10 Australians are affected by asthma. It's the most common chronic respiratory disease in the developed world.
Australia, unfortunately, still has one of the highest death rates from asthma.
As part of World Asthma Day, the Connecting Asthma Care Conference is being held in Brisbane. Leading health professionals are trying to raise awareness.
We're delighted that this conference has been able to highlight and shine a light on the issues of asthma and respiratory illness in general.
The conference has heard that Australians in particular still don't view asthma as a serious medical condition, and many underestimate the tragic consequences of not managing their symptoms. A report by the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare has found only 7% of young people are taking their medication regularly.
I think for a lot of young people, they do really underestimate the severity of asthma in general and their own asthma.
Asthma doesn't go away. It's there even if you don't have any symptoms, and that's why the preventive treatment is so important.
Researchers at the Queensland Children's Medical Research Institute here in Brisbane are focusing on prevention too, trying to unlock the causes of asthma.
We're particularly interested in looking at the role of environmental factors in this early life development of asthma.
Experts say the best advice for sufferers is to work with their doctor to develop an asthma action plan. Jess Lodge, QUT News.
Firefighters in Adelaide believe a blaze in a recycling dump could burn for days and carry toxic smoke over the city. The fire is contained, but strong winds are still fanning the flames.
When firefighters arrived at the Wingfield Waste Depot overnight, they found a large pile of recycled mulch in flames, and the weather working against them.
Obviously operating under some fairly adverse conditions. Severe wind, and obviously with the smoke, it makes it very hard for us to attack it from the downwind side.
Throughout the day, the strong winds carried the toxic fumes across Adelaide and into traffic on a major thoroughfare from the northern suburbs to the port. Investigators are not yet sure what started the fire.
We have no cause at this time. Certainly nothing to be suspicious about as far as we're concerned.
Late today, the fire was still smouldering. Firefighters believe it could burn in the centre of the pile for days, triggering asthma and breathing problems for locals. In Sydney today, the problem was fog, not smoke. A thick layer descended on the city before dawn, causing long delays for international and domestic flights, and trouble on the roads. But for many, it was also a picture opportunity.
Beautiful light and colours and silhouettes and eerie feeling. It's just unbelievable.
The fog burnt off by mid-morning, leaving a clear, sunny day. Chloe Bryce, QUT News.
Rail travel in Queensland is 150 years old. To celebrate the milestone, a new book tells tales of how rail helped develop a state, beginning in the city of Ipswich.
The book, titled The Main Line, details a brief history of Queensland's first railway in 1865. It was built between Ipswich and Biggs Camp, now known as Grantchester, a distance of about 33 kilometres. Ipswich Mayor Paul Pasali says trains helped build the city.
The backbone of the city was rail, and it's just great to have a book that's telling people what our history was, and it's just a shame that you don't see some of these magnificent creatures, on our railway lines.
And he hopes the information in the book and the triumphs of those who built the rail inspire future generations.
I do think that what's been produced here is so important for the next generation. They're so busy worrying about the future. Their importance is the past. Old cities make great new cities. Our history is so important, and it's a great place to let off steam.
Train enthusiasts dug into the memories and memorabilia to help put the book together.
It's just out of my collection of about, I suppose, 6,000 or 7,000 photos of Queensland trains.
Some parts of the old line are still intact, but much of the infrastructure has now disappeared. Whilst long gone, the first rail bridge in Queensland once stood here, linking Ipswich to Grantchester and laying the foundations for what is now Queensland Rail. Today, the main line, following the old route, runs from Roma Street in Brisbane to Toowoomba, 160 kilometres away. Rachel Yang, QUT News.
In sports news, Brisbane Lions coach Justin Lepich is apologetic over a fiery physical incident with a reserves player over the weekend. The coach pulled young player Zach O'Brien by the shirt during a row. It was sparked when O'Brien failed to leave the field when instructed by reserves coach Shane Woewodin. In a statement released by the club, Lepich says his actions were inappropriate and he has apologised to the player.
And a busy night ahead at the AFL Tribunal. Hawthorn's captain and Suns forward Stephen May are both facing bans.
May is challenging a 2-week ban for this hit in Sunday's clash against the Lions, which left Brisbane's Tom Rockcliffe knocked out. And the Hawks' popular captain Luke Hodge is also fronting the tribunal for an elbow hit on Kangaroos' Andrew Swallow. This weekend, the Richmond Tigers face North Melbourne, and it won't be an easy game. The team lacks confidence, but their captain has uplifting words.
You can't let the fear infect your mind and the way you play.
Over to NRL, Blues veteran Greg Bird could miss the first 2 State of Origin games. He's facing up to 8 weeks suspension for a dangerous throw in Sunday's Anzac Test. But even with an early guilty plea, he'll be unavailable for Origin 1 and 2. In motorsport, there are reports Ford dealers want to put up $1 million a year to keep Ford racing in V8 supercars. That's half the amount needed to run a factory team in the competition. But Ford says it won't change plans to withdraw from racing at the end of the year. Soraya Daly, QUT News.
Time now for a look at the weather. Brisbane had a warm and sunny autumn day. Top temps were well above average. Around the southeast, both the Gold and Sunshine Coasts saw a warm top of 27, while Ipswich rose to a top of 28. If you are heading into state tomorrow, sunny and 21 degrees for Sydney, possible showers for Melbourne. A chance of rain for Adelaide and sunny in Perth, a top of 22. Back to Queensland now. Hot in Townsville and Rocky, tops of 31, 29 for Mackay and Bundaberg, and a warm and sunny day for Longreach, 31. And finally, the 3-day outlook for Brisbane. Expect another sunny day tomorrow, a chance of showers on Thursday, and a few clouds hanging around on Friday, 25 the top. That brings you up to date with the weather.
And that's all the news we have for now.
We'll be back tomorrow with more QUT Web News. Goodbye.
Goodbye.